Well, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Once again, it is I, your pharaoh of physical media. Your dawn of discs. I don't know, call me what you want. Robert Meyer, Burnett, and I'm coming at you with Let's Get Physical Media, episode number 193. Oh my God, we're marching ever forward. March, right toward episode number 200. We're going to have many mirth-filled antics in episode 200. I know it's like months away, but still, prepare yourselves. It doesn't matter how you prepare yourselves. You will be unprepared. But you know who will be prepared? I'll tell you, because Germans prepare for everything. And he comes to us all the way from Saarbrücken, Deutschland. He is the one and only Mr. Dieter Bastian.
And Rob, it's great to see you back to a little bit better health than you were at CinemaCon.
I'm telling you.
People are wondering, what was Rob's favorite movie that was presented at the CinemaCon? It was, of course, Gabby's Dollhouse. And I say, greetings, imagination connoisseurs. Dieter here, I'm Rocky like a hurricane. And welcome to the B&B Motel for Let's Get Physical Media, where we have a lot of stuff to show and a lot of stuff to talk about. And Rob, you already did a lot of covering the CinemaCon, but we have to dive into it a little bit. And considering Sony, what I don't understand, Rob, is why do you present stuff like the Beatles stuff, which is that far out in 2028?
Well, okay.
Should you be just presenting the stuff that's in the near vicinity, at least in the year? Movies need saving now.
Well, I think they do, but I think that they also want people to know they're making a statement that movies are going to be here in 2028 too.
Okay.
When many of our Congress people will not. Anyway, that's for another day. But I think they want to start the hype train for these 4 Beatles films. No one's ever done anything like this before. They wanted to confirm. There's a lot of rumors out. There was casting, who's playing John, Paul, George, and Ringo, and I think they did that. It was, so for people that don't understand or don't know, CinemaCon used to be called Show West, and it used to be put on by NATO, not that NATO, but the National Association of Theater Owners. And a number of years ago, they changed it to Show West. And it's not like Comic-Con, where it's for fans. CinemaCon is for specifically theater owners, exhibitors, anybody that has anything to do with the exhibition business, including retailers that make movie chairs or movie seats, luxury seats for movie theaters, or popcorn machines. It was great. There are people giving out candy and food and anything you might buy in movie theaters. So it's really for the exhibition industry. Now, the reason that the John Campea show and others, I run into Jeremy Johns there, who I saw this year again, is because anyone who's interested in covering what movies are coming out, it's a really interesting place, because theoretically what CinemaCon does is it allows the studios to present whatever they've got coming out for the year coming out until the next CinemaCon. But a lot of movie studios don't have that much coming out, so they were promoting things that are going deep into 2026, 2027, and in Sony's case, 2028. And I think, there is... Our entire civilization is in the middle of a transition that I think is going to take decades, really. I guess we're always in transition, but with all the new technologies, AI being at the forefront of those things, changing cultural trends, user-generated entertainment being, obviously, you're watching now, has really supplanted legacy media. There's lots of interesting things going on in our culture, but I hope that there'll always be the communal experience of going to see movies, because I think movies are the greatest art form that humanity has yet devised, that we're keeping that business alive. And that business is an ecosystem. The studios are one thing, but exhibition is another. So that's what CinemaCon is all about. And it's all about the excitement of going to the movies. And, I have to say that this CinemaCon did a lot for me. It kept my excitement alive. on this show, we do a lot of looking backwards, buying our favorite stuff again and again and again. And I like going to a place where I identified at least 10 movies that I will own on Blu-ray or 4K. The first and foremost of those being Project Hail Mary. And then others, the 2 Bachman books, both the new iteration of The Running Man and, of course, The Long Walk, which looks to be a banger. And there's a lot of other movies. Zach Kreger's Weapons looks terrific. There's a lot of great stuff coming out. Crime 101, which is an adaptation of Don Winslow's novella Broken. I'm a huge Don Winslow fan. So seeing Don Winslow, he's retired from writing, but seeing him another one of his books adapted, because so many have tried but have not. He's only had Oliver Stone's Savages is the only thing that's been adapted so far. So a lot of good stuff there. Really exciting.
The only thing, considering the Beatles movies, if I look at Paul Mescal, Rob, my question, Rob, is why doesn't he play Ringo Starr? Come on, Rob. Come on. I
have to say, Paul Mescal's a fine actor. I don't think he has a lot of charisma. And, if you compare his performance to Russell Crowe's performance in Gladiator 1 and Gladiator 2, there's a big difference there. I think he's a good... But look, I would trust Sam Mendes, who has a deep, deep, deep theater background. He directed American Beauty, for which he won an Academy Award for. And he directed Road to Perdition and 2 James Bond movies. He's a fine... By the way, Road to Perdition, based on a DC graphic novel written by Max Allan Collins. And for those of you wondering, True Noir has officially wrapped. I finished episodes 9 and 10, and other than the internal group, there's one person on the outside that has heard both episodes. I'll just say it, Major Chai Chai. And I actually was sending her, I sent her episode 9 when it was finished. And then during that process, she watched it, listened to it, was very enthusiastic. And then I sent her, as we finished episode 10, sent it to her. So she was very enthusiastic about it all. So that was episode 9 and 10 are dialogue heavy. It's all emotion. And they were very difficult. It was, for me personally, I'm very proud of episodes 9 and 10 because in terms of directing and editorial, when you don't have, there's some action, but when it's just talking, it was rough. And those were, it wasn't rough, it was joyful, but I'm very proud of True Noir in general. So I'm glad we'll have the whole series out, and there's developments on the horizon that we'll talk about later.
Nice. And Rob, one of the companies at CinemaCon was, of course, Warner Brothers. And if there's one company that needs a big win, it's actually Warner Brothers, which brings us to the box office.
Wow. Okay.
Now I report, Rob.
I have to tell you, one of the big dramas at CinemaCon is Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi, who were tapped by David Zaslav to run Warner Brothers Studios. They've taken a lot of big swings, spent a lot of money that has yet to pay off. And even though this particular movie was developed by other people, they greenlit it. So they needed a win, and they were hosting the Warner Brothers panel at CinemaCon. And a lot of people are like, wow, these poor. I really like Mike DeLuca. He was the first executive I ever met when I worked on Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 as a lowly PA. He was kind of standoffish and egomaniacal, I have to say, when I met him, but it was 3 o'clock in the morning, and we did talk about James Bond movies. So kudos to you, Mike DeLuca. And he also wrote John Carpenter's In the Mouth of Madness. How many studio executives can say that? Although I don't think he was happy with how it came out. But anyway, I love that movie. So they were hosting, and if they were on the chopping block, it was kind of a really shitty thing to do. But along comes the Minecraft movie.
Yeah.
And they greenlit the Minecraft movie, and let's see, where are we at? Here we go, Dieter, from Anthony D'Alessandro at 8:23 this morning, Pacific time, on Deadline. A Minecraft movie at $157 million. It is a record opening for a video game pick, toppling Super Mario Brothers. And Warner Brothers brings the box office back alive. Mike DeLuca and Pam Abdi they needed a big win. This is a huge win. They fully greenlit this feature film after it was a long time in development hell, and they're overjoyed. So it was a monster hit. Now, let me tell you, I'll give you the box office numbers for the weekend. If they don't disappear. So Minecraft movie opened up with 135 million for the 3-day, and then
I think it's even 150, Rob.
Well, yeah, it is. It's up more than they but the project is 157.
Yeah.
A Working Man added another 7 million, so it's made 27.7 million. Chosen The Last Supper Part 2 for its 3-day. It's up to 6.9 million. Snow White is domestically at 77.3 million, which basically is a disaster. The Woman in the Yard, which is a horror film, is at 16.5 million. A24's Death of a Unicorn is at 10.3 million. The Chosen Last Supper Part 1 is number 7, and it's up to 18 million. Hell of a Summer, that's the Finn Wolfhard written horror film. It's 3 days, 1.7 million. Captain America hanging in there at number 9 is at 199.1 million. They're probably going to keep it in theaters, so it goes over 200 million domestic. And The Friend, the dog movie with Bill Murray and Naomi Watts, is at 1.4 million. But that the story does not end there, Dieter. So a Minecraft movie worldwide has made 301 million globally.
So 50-50.
So
split.
Yes, and that is huge. And so that's a big thing. And if you've seen already, there's videos. I mean, there's famous Minecraft memes that they put in the movie. And when the kids saw the memes, they went berserk, bananas. Police had to be called in some theaters because the kids were going nuts. I mean, I guess for a movie like Minecraft, it's okay. So, look, I love to see the box office igniting in this way. I like to see that Minecraft fans are rewarded. Not really for me. I've delved into Minecraft twice in my life.
I never would have guessed that outcome at the box office. Never.
No. So
it seemed that there was a lot of walk-in box office. You know.
Hey, you know what?
Insane.
I think it's great.
We'll see the second weekend if it still holds up.
We've got a lot of people on spring break here in the U.S., so I think that maybe, I think it can be.
I don't think that anything big is coming out next week.
I don't think so either.
No. I think the next big thing could be Thunderbolts, but between those two, I don't think so.
But Minecraft, I mean, with this kind of business, it's pretty great. Stubble McShave says. They can surely save a lot of money marketing, releasing all of the Beatles movies at once. I think also it will be on everyone's lips when they are released because of the novelty. I totally agree with everything Stubble's saying here. The Beatles movies may bring the older audience to movie theaters. Look, they described... So for those of you who don't know, in April of 2028... the plan is to release, they're making 4 Beatles biopics about John, Paul, George, and Ringo. And they're going to release them all in the same month. Now, this is a cinematic event like we've never seen before. So they're going to shoot them all together, which makes a lot of sense because there's a lot of overlap in terms of where they're going to be. It was unclear if they're going to release them on a weekly basis. I was not sure. I think Rob G said they were going to release them once a week, but I do think it's a cinematic event like no other. And they're betting on the fact that all 4 are going to be great. I like the fact that they're rolling the dice. I like the fact that they're creating something, and 3 years out, the anticipation and covering all of this and making these 4 films. And, I've had people contact me since we did our show talking about, on Friday, talking about how young people are discovering the Beatles. I mean, I take a lot of joy in watching reaction channels, and there's a young kid in his early 20s who fancies himself a movie producer, and he's been going back and listening to albums like Sgt. Pepper's or Pink Floyd, and he's going through these things and talking about them, and I like that. I mean, because look, the pop culture of the 20th century, whether it's rock and roll, whether it's movies, is just as valid, as Michelangelo's David or something. I mean, it was the art of its time. It was new art. It was culturally relevant. And I like people going back, and even though it's recent art, it's still getting rediscovered. And I think that the Beatles were a really significant part of, especially the 1960s and the early 70s and the rest of the 20th century and now. So it's cool. Like, I'm all for it. Bring it on, man. Let's rediscover their music and the techniques.
Question, Rob, is with which of the Beatles, which movie do we start?
Look. For me, I would start with Ringo, because I would start with Ringo, and only because the least. To me, I mean, about Paul and John, so end with John because he was the one that was assassinated, so he had the most dramatic ending. So I would start with Ringo, who's still with us, who's still married to his wife, Barbara Bach, who's a Bond girl, Anya Amasova, Agent XXX from Spy Who Loved Me. I would start there because why not? And then go to George, Paul, John. But that's going to be a really interesting thing. I think people are going to see all four, but then they'll go back and watch all four again to see, will it hit you different? And are they going to see? Yeah. Are you going to see two of the same sequences from the different perspectives? And it's going to be a really interesting thing. I'm all for it, whether it's a gimmick or not, as long as we get great movies. And I think after Peter Jackson's Get Back documentary, and there's a lot of Beatles out there, so I think it's good for everybody. Bring it on.
So, considering the CinemaCon, one of the last points, Rob, were you there when Neon presented their movies?
I did not see the Neon presentation.
But they didn't show anything about Shelby Oaks, or did they?
They did not. Nothing.
Why not, Rob? What is up? What is up with Shelby Oaks?
Okay.
With the Chris Stuckman movie.
I do not know anything about what's going on with Shelby Oaks, but if I were to venture a guess, I think they're doing some re-editing and rejiggering, maybe putting some more money into it. That's what I would imagine, because Chris Stuckman hasn't said anything about it either.
Exactly, Rob. As a Kickstarter, I have not received any emails about the status, what is up with the movie, nothing.
Right.
It's been months now.
Well, I'm sure that they have to, I'm sure it's as frustrating for Chris Stuckman as anybody. They're probably seeing what they're going to do with it, coming up with a marketing plan. And it might not, at the time when Neon acquired it, I don't think Longlegs had come out, and they might be rethinking whether it's going to go theatrical. They don't know, probably. I would imagine. And I think
thought the CinemaCon would be a nice place to give that movie a boost. Bring Chris Stuckman out. Have them if Sony can make promotion for 2028, the Beatles.
The thing is, though, Chris Stuckman is not a draw for theater owners. They don't know who he is.
No, certainly not. But there are YouTubers there.
I know. So, I know.
Present the movie.
I know.
I don't know what's up.
Stubble McShave also says, I cannot wait for Project Hail Mary. Did the things you saw look good? How did Rocky look? They have to get him right. It was one of the most intriguing and captivating sci-fi books I've read in a long time. I told you it was right up your alley. So here's the thing. Project Hail Mary, after they showed us quite a long reel. It wasn't a trailer. It was much longer than that. They did not show Rocky. They only hinted. You only saw a pincer, maybe. They didn't. They sold the movie. Here's the great thing about Project Hail Mary. As when I was reading the book, I think you get to chapter 6, because the book it's in the present. It flashes back and forth between this astronaut and what's going on Earth. The trailer, and they made it look amazing. It was almost before he even took off, and just the situation on Earth. It looks fantastic. And I tweeted out, I said, Project Hail Mary is going to win Best Picture at the 2027 Academy Awards, and I stand by this. Knowing if they pull this off and they look to, it's amazing because it looks like it could be set in the same universe as The Martian, like in my mind, because it's in the same universe. They're both canonically connected somehow, because it looks that good, and Ryan Gosling's perfect for the role. And while anybody who reads the book or has a cursory description of the book understands there is the relationship that Ryan Gosling has with an alien is crucial to the whole book is about that. They could sell this movie and not tell anybody that the central conceit of this story is mankind communicating and working together with a completely alien race to solve a problem. You don't need to even know that. The CinemaCon presentation they made, people were all in until, like, in the book, when you're reading the book, that scene, they showed Ryan Gosling's the ship from Earth encountering. First of all, the design of the alien ship is like nothing you've ever seen, and the closest I can describe it is, it looks like the inside of a piano. Like if you took the Sulaco from Aliens, that long rectangular shape, and if instead of looking like a bunch of Swiss Army knives, if you imagine the Sulaco looking like the inside of a piano with all the wire, like the metal, that's what Rocky's ship looked like, and it was all like burnished coppers and all. It just, and the two ships, it was fucking awesome. Let me just tell you, it gave me a hard on. And it was because I know what the story's about, and it just looked incredible. It looked like a perfect adaptation of the film. And I will tell you this right now. I understand all the feels and what people love about Interstellar. I'll go so far as to say not only is Project Hail Mary going to win Best Picture in 2027, it is going to go straight to the top, and it's going to be considered at least in the top 10, perhaps the top 5 of all science fiction movies ever made.
Holy moly.
Especially if they stick the landing, and keep the ending from the book. So, it was
CinemaCon, Rob, do you have assigned seatings? Do you sit always at the
same
place?
No, and that's so. One of the funny things about
cinema, first come, first serve.
It's first come, first serve, and I kind of know the big. You're standing outside this theater in the middle of the casino, and you're spilling out, and they open the doors, and everybody has this where they like to sit. Yeah, and so I have to go around and up these stairs, and we get right in our middle seats that are directly. The Dolby puts in a projection system in the Celine Dion Coliseum Theater. It's dope. The projection in there is incredible. And they do a great job, but you have to fight your way to get to your seats, which is always stressful.
I was just wondering, Rob, if you have assigned seating so that you sit every time at the same place, or if you have to fight.
Well, it's funny. Everybody. There was a delightful couple. There was a Swiss couple there, and this guy really nice. They watch our shows, and he had married he had met this Mexican woman years ago when they were going to school together or something, and he's a big exhibitor in Switzerland, and she brought us some chocolates, and he's like 6'6". He's a big, handsome Swiss dude, and she's kind of like this hot Mexican woman, and they got married. They reconnected after going to school, and they were there, and they were sitting. We all kind of sat together, and nice. It was just, you meet everybody, and it's pretty cool. I mean, I love CinemaCon. It's great.
Totally.
And I ultimately won. I left up $386. Not that I have any money to gamble with, but the first night, Cody Miller and I were sitting at a table, and we both kind of threw in $100, and we were gambling individually. Then we were kind of gambling together, and we walked away from the table. He'd put $200 in, I put $100. We walked away from the table with almost $600 that we split. And then I found these cool, because I've been playing a lot of blackjack, like this one app where you can win actual money. I've gotten so pretty good. I barely lost playing blackjack, but I was only playing $5 hands. I wasn't, because I didn't,
Keep it on the low end, Rob,
Yeah, keep it. But it was, look, man, to walk away, like I would get up from a table, I would get up $100 and walk. Unlike Ray Ora, who still owes me money.
Finally, I went back to the theater, as I told you last week, and saw Neza 2, the most successful animated movie of all time, and I really had a blast with it, because I already loved the first one. And the German saying, Rob, is a little bit Schippe drauf, shovel on top, But the second one was not only shovel on top, not only Schippe drauf, it was an whole truck load onto the first one. The only drawback, you had English subtitles and Chinese subtitles. I don't know why, which was a little bit distracting, because you had then 2 separate subtitles, which is already puts you out of focus a little bit. But other than that, I actually can't really recommend the movie if you haven't seen the first one, because you're missing a little bit of the foundation that you need to go into the second one. You will get everything, but I think it's better if you have seen the first one. And I can completely understand why the movie made that kind of money in China, Rob. It's epic. It's really, really epic scenes. Great one. And on Friday, after the disappointment, or didn't live up to that, Long Legs, I saw from Oscar Perkins, The Monkey. Unfortunately, the next disappointment, I have to say, for me, good kills go a long way.
Yeah.
But the kills were badly tricked. Bad effects, bad CGI effects, considering the kills. And the movie started really nice, but then you got the story about his son and the custody of his son. So unfortunately, The Monkey, not that thrilling, even below Long Legs.
By the way, I have to tell you, speaking of kills, Final Destination Bloodlines, must see.
I heard that, Rob. A must see. Nice.
And they were saying,
and they said that's not even the top of the kills.
Right. I mean, that's what they were saying.
Okay.
I mean, what they showed at CinemaCon was like a 10-minute sequence.
Yeah.
It was, it was a banger. The audience loved it. We all loved it. It was great. Pulled no punches. It's like, I think
Nice.
I love to see the fact that the Terrifier franchise, I think, has opened the floodgates now, that you can really be disgusting and really lean into the gore. It's like it's the early 80s all over again. We live in a very...
was totally missing from The Monkey, Rob. A little bit more practical effects. The effects were so on the cheap side.
This Final Destination... Look, our culture has become very mean. People are very mean to one another nowadays. So it's time to bring back mean kills. I want to reflect the times we live in. None of this pulling your punches kills. I want as mean as people are to each other, and as much hatred as between the Karens out in the world and the Republicans and the Democrats. Mean kills. And Final Destination Bloodlines brings it. There is no sympathy. I mean, it goes for the jugular. It goes for your brain stem. It goes everywhere. And boy, was it fun.
Nice.
Bring the mean kills
really
back. Because that's
really
what Terrifier has mean kills.
Certainly does.
I mean, Terrifier 3 is just one mean kill after. It is not a nice, and that's what you want.
No. Yeah, exactly. You get what's on the package. And speaking of package, Rob, who starts? Physical media.
Oh, there's a lot to show, buddy.
Yeah.
Why don't you
Let's
start?
Let's start. Should I start? Okay.
You should
I
start.
start. First one. Steelbook. Even if I got already the normal one of Nosferatu.
God damn it! I've been trying to get. How'd you get that? Come on, how'd you get that?
Just the German one. Just a normal pre-order. But it's just, I say just, the 4K. Because the American that was just a slipcover had the 4K and the Blu-ray. So, next one of the movies that were a little bit bigger at the Academy Awards, and I liked the movie, but I wasn't too thrilled, and I was even contemplating buying it. But you know, Rob, if the cover is enticing and it came from Italy, which is totally fitting, I bought Conclave, which has a nice slipcover. It's a little bit like the Vorkalt, but it's not from Vorkalt. But the disc itself, it's nothing special, just a Blu-ray and the 4K Conclave. But I love the red slip here. Conclave. Then the next one, I probably should have put it in the A24 order that I did and showed last week. But this was available not only at the A24 shop, it was available at Amazon too. And I ordered it through Amazon, so it did arrive okay, but not in the best condition. I got my Brutalist from A24, which is Digipack as the others. And I was clever enough to put the postcard that they sent with the last bill in it. So you've got inside of it, backdrop, and let me see if I can get the cards out, which will be not as easy because this is exactly damaged at the top. Oh, this is actually nice. You get the architect drawings here. That's unexpected. I was expecting to get pictures just from the movie. So this is actually a pretty cool idea, I have to say. The Brutalist from A24. Just put it aside here. Next one. Finally, I got a little bit stuff from Asia, from Hong Kong. Cat in the Bag. The movie is just called Wolf Hiding. Looks up my alley, but I don't know.
What isn't up your alley?
Wolf Hiding. And speaking of the CinemaCon again, Rob, Lionsgate said they will do a spin-off, and I heard Lionsgate had a damn solid presentation. They will do a spin-off with Donnie Yen's character from John Wick 4, which brings me to Donnie Yen, and a German release of Iron Monkey 2. 3 stars in. Comes with a disc, and we have a little bit of a booklet in there too. It says on the back, full uncut version, which is always nice to know. Booklet, and it's a 2K HD remaster. But this is not the only Donnie Yen that I have for you, because I have, Rob, considering Donnie Yen, his newer movie, The Prosecutor, from Hong Kong. And you get a court thriller combined, Rob, with Donnie Yen action outside the courtroom.
All right.
What could you ask for, Rob?
Not
What
much.
more could you ask for?
Not much.
Not much. Exactly. Because I was in fear that would be more on the drama side and there wouldn't be any action, but I was, of course, completely wrong. It's a almost 50-50 thing. So The Prosecutor had a really great time. Just a slip, the 4K and the Blu-ray, nothing fancy to it. And I was surprised after I've seen it, Rob. I was thinking, how long do I watch movies with Donnie Yen? And I looked up his age, 61. How can he still do these movies, Rob? I have no idea. I have no idea. Sorry. The Prosecutor. If you're a Donnie Yen fan, it is totally a must. Even if there is some CGI help, but the action scenes, insane. And I think he even was the director. And I think he will, considering the John Wick spin-off, I think he is in talks of directing that one too. Then finally, a little bit of Korea stuff for the longest time. This one is called, let me just see, I've saved the sticker because it doesn't say on the box. The movie is called Hopeless. So this is the slip for it, but it's a cat in the bag for me. And it's always nice. Korea has always different cover artwork inside. And of course, they always put some swag in it. So we just tear this really not apart. But like I said, I have not seen the movie. And it comes with some autographs here.
Wow.
On the back for it. So Hopeless. But the second one, which I watched this afternoon, Rob, I didn't know they did a movie about us, Rob. And the movie is called Handsome Guys.
Of course, you know.
Of course. And
I mean, what's not to love about these two punums? Come on.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love us?
And this is actually, Rob, it is a remake. Could you guess what kind of remake this is? Handsome Guys. Could you make a guess?
Is it a remake of Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man?
Considering the cover, you would be almost right, but it's a remake of Tucker and Dale versus Evil, actually.
Is it really?
Yeah. But
wow.
With a little bit of a different spin, considering the backstory, it goes more into the exorcism realm. Had really had a good time with it. So those are our handsome guys inside. So remakes in the international marketplace can be found too. And I wasn't aware of that. And inside we have, if you have seen the movie, you know a little bit more what that means. So here are the characters. Did wrong. So. And even the kills are often a remake of the first one, but it's gotten a little bit of a different angle considering the backstory.
Right.
And it had a great picture quality, was great, even if it's just a Blu-ray. So, handsome guys. Okay, Rob, this is my first haul. I give it over to you.
Okay. Well, yeah. I have. Gosh, I don't even know where to begin. First of all, I did get a box from Warner Brothers. Warner Archive, and some interesting stuff. Max Allen Collins will like this. Monogram Matinee Volume 1. This Monogram Studios, which, by the way, the character of Marianne Beam in True Noir ends up working for Monogram Studios. Coincidentally, the week that I finish True Noir, a mention of Monogram Studios is in episode 10, chapter 10. And Jimmy Davis in Mississippi Rhythm, and Johnny Mac Brown in Western Renegades. plus Whip Wilson in Crashing Through. So I'm sure these are amazing. And hey, what's not to love? Now, George Feltenstein at Warner Archive, he and I share a love of Joan Crawford. Great Joan Crawford movie. Sadie McKee, she does what she has to do. And she's torn between many different men, but winds up with the man of her dreams in Sadie McKee. And then we have Rudolph Valentino's breakthrough role in, by the way, again, it seems like George Feltenstein has his finger on the pulse of the nation because Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which is classic Valentino film, great artwork, by the way, has come out. And, again, you look at this.
Had that in the news section.
War, conquest, famine, and death. Rudolph Valentino stars in the role that made him a star as the romantic Argentine hero who sacrifices his life for love in this classic adaptation of Vincent Blanco Ibanez's novel, Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse. And I think this is probably an uplifting film to help these uplifting times. So can't wait to see it. Then a movie that they'd previously released on VHS, a film that I've actually not seen because I thought it was something else. Gene Roddenberry made a pilot called Earth 2, but this is an actual movie called Earth. This was a pilot movie about a space station orbiting around Earth called Earth 2, and I've never seen this, and I've always wanted to see this. Okay. So it never went to series, but just 10 seconds to save a dream
from a failed pilot, Rob?
Well, it wasn't failed. They made it, but it didn't go to series. Okay. So they released it as a TV movie. And, of course, Gary Lockwood from 2001 and the second Star Trek pilot where no one has gone before is in it. And so very excited to delve into this. So this is a really great array. Warner Archive is doing a phenomenal job. Not just do they do a phenomenal job with their transfers and bit rates on their discs, but they're really mixing it up in terms of what they're releasing every month. And for those of you who are wondering, yes, Magilla Gorilla is now out on Blu-ray. The complete series, by the way. And I remember Magilla Gorilla from when I was a kid. So here we go. So let's hear it for George Feltenstein and the boys over at Warner Archive. And they have big news this week. They have a phenomenal choice of film to release as their second 4K disc. And I wholeheartedly approve, but we'll talk about that in the news section. So you go, Warner Archive. You know, there's a lot of people that wonder, like, where can they get Warner Archive discs? I would say buy direct from Warner Archive, the Warner Brothers store. They're usually pretty great, and sometimes they have sales because sometimes these, they don't show up at at Amazon. So go to Warner Brothers and buy them direct. Warner Brothers also sent me the 4Ks of Judas and the Black Messiah, and they also sent me the 4K of Paddington 2, which, by the way, everyone knows that Paddington 2 is Pedro Pascal's favorite movie if you saw the movie he was in with Nicolas Cage. So there you go. I'm really looking for the Paddington 2 box set because I haven't seen Paddington 3 yet, but it's a fine trilogy.
I need to watch that.
I also got a box from Vinegar Syndrome.
Ooh.
And I did get the movie Last of the Red Hot Lovers from Cinematograph. I found out it's called Cinematograph, not Cinematography. The name of their really great partner label is Cinematograph. Last of the Red Hot Lovers is an early 70s comedy by Neil Simon that stars Alan Arkin, who is True Noir co-star Adam Arkin's father. It also co-stars the great Renee Taylor, who not only is in Tango Shalom, but plays Barney Ross's mother, Mrs. Rafosky, in True Noir, The Assassination of Anton Cermak. So Last of the Red Hot Lovers, I got 620 out of 3,000. But these Cinematograph discs are fantastic. I mean, they come with a card, but then again, the card doesn't fit in the box. But I really do love the design of these boxes, and like a cool book, and like A24, it's slip cased, and it's got the fabric, thing, and it is in fact a media book, really high end media book actually, and a lot of information about the film and the making of the movie. And even though they're raiding the Paramount Library, these are very A24-esque, and these really feel substantial. And look, you've even got the ribbon, like when you have a bookmark. So Cinematograph, they're doing a great job as far as a Vinegar Syndrome partner label.
Nice.
And now look, in I also got some 70s bush porn. I got some X-rated material, Deets. I got some X-rated material, and I don't know. In honor of Last Tango in Paris, I got. So they have. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right. Melusine, or Melusine. This is their high end. This is Vinegar Syndrome's high end. They have 70s porn or Euro softcore. And you know how much I love my 70s Euro softcore. Look at this. First of all, you've got these gold imprinted sleeves. And this is their special edition of Melusine. Shiny. And look at this. Look at this.
Nice.
Ooh. So, I mean, nice. So if you feel bad or you feel adolescent and puerile about buying 70s bush porn, this will make you feel like you've bought something very substantial. And then look at this. I mean, the packaging, the artwork, and then look at this. As you can see, I've not even opened this yet.
They heard Europe that you were not happy with the keep.
Multiple, yeah, I mean, but there's multiple slipcases here. These look so great on a shelf. Anybody that gives you a cursory glance will not know that the only reason I bought this was to see hot European girls with hips and boobs and bush. They won't know. They'll think that these are just high-end art films from, the European continent from the 70s, and that's what I want people to believe. That's what I want people to believe. But I will say this, I don't just, nowadays, erotic films are just mechanical. A friend of mine who I know who's in the erotic film industry here in the States, who has made some epic, and when I say epic, he's made 3 and 4 hour long epic porn with some of the hottest, the raunchiest porn I've ever seen in my life. His name is Eli Cross, and he's great at what he does. This is different than that. These these are different. But I haven't seen, as I'm trying to, I did not open these beforehand. So I want to see what this box looks like. But through the looking glass just looked interesting. So when I went, so here's the actual book. I don't even know. I mean, look at this. There's 2 discs in here. I guess there's special. I don't even know what's in here. Maybe the 4K and the regular version. There is there's an art card. There is a really substantial booklet, and I don't know if there's things I can show. Oh yeah, it's great. Like stuff going on in a graveyard or whatever. I mean, this is as high end as it gets. And these are
cover artwork.
What's that?
Reversible cover artwork.
Oh, let's see. Oh, indeed, there is. Oh no, it is reversible, but wow, you know what? It is. This is interesting. I'm gonna do it. Well, it's not really reversible, but it's got ads, the original ads from the newspapers. Yeah. So nice. I mean, as far as this stuff goes, if you want to feel good about yourself for buying titles from them, this is the way to go. So I don't even know what this movie is, to be honest. This isn't why I bought this movie. This is a total cat in the bag. So through the looking glass, let's put this back. Multiple slip cases. But the reason that I ended up buying this was a blind buy. This was a cat in the bag because what I really bought, and I've got to give it up. Did I get this right? What I really wanted was Damon Howe on Facebook said he found a movie he'd never seen called The Image, which is directed by Radley Metzger. And Radley Metzger made movies like Camille 2000. I'm a huge Radley Metzger fan. He made some of my favorite 70s softcore Euro bush porn, one of them being called The Licorice Quartet, which I highly recommend. But one of my favorites is called The Image. He also made a movie called The Score, if you like your bisexuality. But he later became, he finally went into porn and changed his name to Henry Paris, and he made The Afternoons of Pamela Mann. He also made the very world-famous Barbara Broadcast. But the one I wanted, one of my favorites of his, is The Image. And this is what I wanted, was The Image.
Fits nicely with the other title.
Yeah, and this movie rules. And basically, it's about this guy. I mean, look at this packaging, dude. Yeah. It's about this guy and his like older girlfriend, and they see this hot young thing that they both want, and they kind of begin these S&M games with her. And it's all shot in Europe. You know, everything's beautiful. And I don't know how far I can go on this, but you know, there's nothing that is wrong with this movie. Everything is good about it. Okay. And I won't overstay my welcome here, but this is what I wanted. Now, they've got, and the way they do these things, The Image, and I can't recommend this movie highly enough if you like this sort of thing. I need to get all of their...
Michelle D. in the live chat says, The Image rocks. I just bought a 4K set.
Here it is. It does rock. And you know what's really great about this film? If you took, like, this does have hardcore elements in it. Even if you took out the X-rated sex and stuff in this movie, it would be an interesting film. It's still, and that's one of the things that nowadays modern porn, it's a tool. It's to get you where you want to go. But these were true erotic cinema that really delves into the eroticism and the power of eroticism. And these discs are great. And of course, these things are the highest of it's like the criterion of Euro smut. So highly recommended. And while I was there, they had this other thing called Her Body. I know nothing about this.
Oh, I have not seen it. I showed it, Rob. I bought it too. It came out here in Germany for a longer time, but I haven't gotten around to it.
Apparently, this is the uncensored edition. Don't know what it is, but I got it. So there's my first bit of haul. Okay. So call me a bad man if you will. I'm surprised no one has commented on the headline of today's show, but I figured I would see if we would be demonetized, but apparently not.
Okay. Not yet. So I think we had some super chats that came.
Yeah, let's see.
Showing stuff.
Paul Brunato ordered Project Hail Mary, and he can't wait to read it, which is exciting. Kevin Wellborn has been a member for 36 months. Kelvin, thank you for that. He's the man down under. Excuse me. Yep. Excuse me. Major Chai Chai says, I followed your discussion on X about Superman. If Gunn has made the film in the vein of the DC animated universe Superman movies, I'm all in. Nice key tag, by the way. Oh yeah, you like this? I wonder where it came from. I like the blue. Yeah. Kenneth Colton says just between April 13th and April 22nd, The Last of Us Season 2, The Accountant 2, Sinners, Andor Season 2. This is just crazy. We are eating beyond good this month. Wow. Channel Surf. That's true. I mean, Kenneth, he's nailing that. How great. Accountant 2 looks awesome. Can't wait. Andor Season 2 looks amazing. Channel Surf says, love the title of today's episode. You are sick, Rob. That's why I love you. Please come to the Neurotic Meetup on the 17th. Where is the Neurotic Meetup on the 17th? Is it here in LA? Because I will.
Probably Las Vegas.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Order 42 Show says, congrats on finishing True Noir. Looking forward to hearing it in its entirety and reviewing the Blu-ray. Well, thank you. Please do. That would be very nice. I think you're going to really like the end of the show. Danzig 1979 has been a member for 15 months. Thank you, sir. Walter Whitewalker says, hi, Rob. Do you think the dreary start to Dragon is analogous to the dragons bringing life to the village? This is one of my most anticipated. What Walter Whitewalker is referring to is How to Train Your Dragon, the live action, which they showed us in its entirety at CinemaCon. You know what? I don't think it's that.
It was the only movie, Rob, that they showed.
It was the only movie they showed this year in its entirety. I think the thing about How to Train Your Dragon, the beginning, it just feels generic. It feels like the most, and it's because we've seen it all before.
Yeah.
And the way it was, I mean, you have a first-time live-action director, and it felt a little flat to me. It felt flat to all of us. But that quickly goes away. It was really interesting because for me, it created an obstacle. I literally was sitting there going, oh my God, I dreaded seeing the rest of the movie. Dreaded it. And I think it's also because, everybody looks so clean. They needed to dirty up the whole thing and give it more of a gritty look. And I understand why they didn't, but that's just me. But then, 20 minutes in, 30 minutes in, I was locked in. I was in. Even though I thought it was really smart to go with the design, they didn't change the design of the dragons very much. Yeah. And it's not a shot-for-shot remake. And I found the movie to be delightful. The animated films, I have all three of them in 3D. Yeah. The 3D of those.
Will the live-action remake get a release in 3D too?
You know what? I don't know, but the 3D of the animated films is amazing.
Yeah.
They're three of the great 3D releases. And I hope so. But I really wound up, I think we all really wound up, by the end of the movie, I was a little weepy-eyed. Bringing back Gerard Butler as Stoic was great. He was great. And the actors were really good. Tandy Newton's daughter, she's really good. The movie, I think, really works. I think it's going to be a real crowd pleaser. And yeah, there's going to be the cynical amongst all of us that are like, why do they have to do this? Well, to make money. Like, I don't have a problem if you're making a product to make money, and if a live action movie can appeal to more people than an animated movie does. And the first How to Train Your Dragon came out over 15 years ago. I think it came out in 2009, 8 or 9. You have a new generation of kids. It's going to be some kid's favorite movie he's ever seen, or she's ever seen, or they've ever seen. I think it's great, and I really enjoyed it. It's really well done, and it does have a sense of wonder and a sense of fun, and it is beautifully made. And once you overcome that generic beginning.
And we have become accustomed to seeing live-action dragons, Rob,
Well, that's, you're right. I mean,
House of the Dragons,
And also the desolation of Smaug. Peter Jackson brought, not since the Vermithrax pejorative from Dragon Slayer have we had as the dragons like we've had lately. And How to Train Your Dragon, I think, did a really good job. And so I was in.
Sure box office hit. I would be surprised if
it's going to be huge.
We're going a different way.
And by the way, Roy Lee, the producer who watches this channel, he had 3 movies. He was a producer on The Long Walk. He was a producer on How to Train Your Dragon, and Zach Kreger's follow-up to Barbarian, Weapons, which, by the way, also looks to be a banger. So nice. I can't wait to see Weapons.
So Rob, he is actually a producer not for a specific studio.
No, he does. He arranges for financing. He makes
for different companies.
He has movies at Warner Brothers, Lionsgate, and Sony. Yeah. The man is he's my idol. He really is. He's my idol.
Nice.
So we are caught up with Super Chats.
We are caught up. So I could do the second horror of
All right.
my purchases. This I haven't seen in a long time. Really looking forward to seeing The Faculty again in 4K. Nothing too special about it. From Shout Factory, 4K and Blu-ray. But haven't seen it in a long time. The Faculty.
Right.
With The Faculty, I ordered from Blue Underground, not the Marvel Venom, the old Venom.
The old Venom.
From Blue Underground with Klaus Kinski, Crazy Klaus. And it comes with Blu-ray and 4K. Or let me just see if the second one is just special features. No, I think the movie is on the second one too. And you would have, if you want, a reversible cover artwork. But I like this one more. And it comes with a booklet for the movie. Venom. Hopefully the good Venom kind. Not the Sony kind. Okay. Then the next one, I actually had to go to a third-party seller because Amazon said, no, we won't ship this to your location. I don't know why. So I went.
I'm going to turn it over to you for just a second. So keep going till I come back.
Yeah. Okay. So we have Akira Kurosawa's Yojimbo and Sanjuro, which, as I said, I ordered through a third-party seller. I don't know what the problem was with Amazon telling me, no, we can't ship that to your location. Comes booklet for the movies. Just see. From BFI. So really looking forward to these two. So we have both in 4K. So Akira Kurosawa Jimbo Juro. Then Rob showed this already. I got it from the UK because I think those are three of the really coolest steelbooks that we know. Jackie Brown, the Lionsgate one, which are available in the UK too. Comes with the 4K and the Blu-ray, and even the backdrop is always great that it shows, and it's always nice with the slip. You have her with her normal back, then you get the different one underneath it. So we have Jackie Brown. And then, no, it's not a bloody affair, but the steelbooks are so well done.
I love them.
For Kill Bill 1, you see the head come off here. Especially love the inside of the first one with the motorcycle. Which is great. So Kill Bill 1 and number 2, which has a great idea with the eye.
Oh, it's awesome.
Using and what's great is here Kill Bill Volume 2 is just a move that she does. Just very, very cool ideas. You see, Warner Brothers, how it's actually done. That's how steelbooks should look like and come across. And I forgot one Korean title. I showed this probably a year ago, which came already out in Germany, but Plain Archive which did the little drummer girl, the great set. They brought out a nice edition for this one, and it's called Escape from Mogadishu. This is a
Wow.
special edition from them. It says here. Let me see if I can make this in
Wow.
focus. Plain archive exclusive. It comes with a steelbook. Really the shiny one. And I think it's, hope I'm not mistaken, I think it was based on some true events, which actually was the prosecutor from Donnie Yen 2. But let's say based, but loosely. There's the inside, and like the other, we have a little bit of a swag, and I always love that they are packaged separately. So, Escape from Mogadishu. Oh, this is nice. We have passports, actually.
There you go.
But because there is political upheaval, and of course they have to escape. And the North have worked together, the South. And it comes with a booklet too. So really cool movie. And this was not the only version that Plain Archive offered. There were different Escape from Mogadishu variation that you could order. So my second tour, Rob. Escape from Mogadishu.
Nice.
Korean movie from Plain Archive.
Well, I'm not nearly done.
No, you're not.
I got some Blu-rays.
Yeah.
I know it's out in 4K, but I haven't seen it, and I'm like, it's fine. Azrael.
Oh, nice one, Rob. Really looking forward what you think about the movie.
Had to get
Without
that.
any dialogue, it's a blast.
I finally got Mars Express. I've been wanting to see this, the animated film.
Nice.
It was really cheap, so I finally got it. There's all these discs that come out I mean to get, but I didn't get it. Chris Gore said this was terrific. It looks really terrific.
Yeah, it is.
I can't wait to see it. I did finally get The Cat, because I really want to see that.
Nice.
You already talked about it.
That's good.
Yeah, the trailer for this is a banger. I've never seen this movie. Great German caper, 80s,
And one of the characters, Rob, is Ralf Richter. And in which German movie does play Ralf Richter another role? In Bang, Boom, Bang. Just saying.
Okay, well, one day. And then also in my Vinegar Syndrome box, look, I've never seen this movie, but it's category 3. I read about what goes on in this movie. I had to get it. Devil Fetus and Her Vengeance. I mean, come on. In terms
Not
of
me this week.
Hong Kong,
Category 3
it's category 3. It's got a great booklet in here. I mean, look at this. It does have reversible covers. It comes with a great booklet. But after reading Devil Fetus and what it's about, I'm sure it's goofy, but it looked mean-spirited, and this also reminded me of Humanoids from the Deep. So I had to get this from Vinegar Syndrome. Since I was going to get porn anyway, why not get a little exploitation, little blood and guts? So Devil Fetus, and I think another company might have released this as well. Now that I'm thinking about it, but for every Devil Fetus and 70s Euro bush porn, you're gonna love this. I got them. It's Mabusa, right? Dr.
Mabusa. Yeah.
Mabusa.
Lives. Yeah.
The Mabusa Lives box set. I love the original Mabusa movies. It's got all of them, in here, and this is a great Eureka box set. Yeah. It's got all the Mabusa movies, the old ones and the new ones. A restoration. I mean, anything that comes out from Eureka is worth getting. I mean, look at this artwork. Man, they just kill it. basically Mabusa is like a Bond villain, you know. Yeah. And I've got old steelbooks of the original Mabusa movies, but this has you've got the Mabusa Lives. So these are 1960 to 64, the new ones, which are great, and I'm happy to have these. It's very exciting. And these go back. I mean, this is just so exciting. So these are the new Mabusa movies, which I haven't seen. I haven't seen these the 1960 to 64 films. So I mean, these covers, so good.
Yeah.
And as I said, I've got the originals, the Testament of Dr. Mabusa. Love it. So these are the originals and the new ones, and I can't wait to delve into these again because these movies are terrific films. Fritz Lang, and what a great set. So had to get that. So there you go. These are the Blu-rays that I have, and then I have one more set of stuff that I got. My 4Ks, one more. Do you have another haul or not?
Yeah, I have another whole, Rob.
Okay, we'll get to those.
Continue, Rob.
We'll get to those later. Mine. Well, if you want, sure.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Do we have some super chats that came in, Rob? Just
Bo Edmond says it says screaming Superman. Still watching Superman. Do you mean streaming Superman? Is that Christopher Reeve, which is cool. 200 Watt Studio writes in and says, I can't believe it's butter, says Maria Schneider. I like that people are enjoying my headline for this show. A lot of people who've never seen Last Tango in Paris, it won't mean anything to them. But those who have,
okay.
I appreciate that they like my mischievous...
The YouTube algorithm, Rob. You tricked.
I think I might have tricked the YouTube algorithm. I think, because the YouTube algorithm would have to understand a reference to within the movie, and I'm not saying anything. I mean, if you just look at it and don't know the movie, you might not understand what I'm saying, but those who do...
Nice over my head.
Yeah, we'll see. If it demonetizes me, then they'll know. But, whenever I can thwart the algorithm, a little AI, my mischievous self,
is happy.
I am truly happy. So thank you for recognizing my witticism, 200 Watt Studio. So I appreciate that. Berkiden, Eberkiden, became a subscriber. So thank you for that. And Danzig, 1979. Oh, I already said has been a member for that many years, which is terrific. So yes, we're caught up. We are caught up.
Yeah. I show a little bit more. A little bit.
You do that. That's what we're here for.
Cat in the backdrop. I have no idea.
By the way, do you have that hardware shirt because you got your Umbrella hardware disc?
Shh.
Okay, just asking. I'm sorry.
Shh.
Sorry.
Shh. Later. Media book. Get in the back.
Wow, what a great cover.
Yeah. I don't know anything about it. It's a limited edition to 600. But it's not a 4K. It's a DVD and a Blu-ray. Just see. It is that. Let me just check if it's... No, it is in English. Was just checking if it's perhaps a foreign movie. Oh, it's a nice portion here. So, that is head. Media book. The next one, Media Book 2, one of my... It was definitely in my top 20 horror movies, even if it's not really a coffee and cake movie. I don't know if you had time, Rob, because it is on Shudder in the States. The Devil's Bath. This is the German media book. Des Teufels.
Oh, dude, I watched that.
Art.
I already watched it.
What? And Rob?
Oh, it's a delightful, warm-hearted film.
Yeah.
I loved it, by the way.
When I read the end credits, Rob, the text about the reality of the situation back then, I was thinking, oh my God, what terrible times.
Terrible
I don't want
times.
to live in their times, Rob. I don't want to live in their times. And we won't give anything away. This is, of course, a slow burn movie. And it's not, unfortunately, not a 4K. It's a Blu-ray. And the soundtrack, I think it's beautiful shot. And Rob, if you, considering The Devil's Bath, if you marry someone, you should perhaps know her or his preferences, just saying, considering The Devil's Bath. Then I know, Rob, you will get the second side one, but I decided, okay, I go with the German ones from Playon. And I have here The Brood. The Brood from David Cronenberg from Playon as a media book, which comes with the 4K.
Yeah, but there's spoiler alert. Look at that. Spoil.
And
Everything about that spoiler.
The extras on a separate disc. We have the media book part. Let me just see.
Wait, you froze. Dieter froze. Dietz, why did you freeze? I'm disconnecting you. Dietz froze. Look at that. He's out of here. Hopefully, Dieter, you'll be able to come back in. But basically, Dieter, let's hope you came back in. But since you did that, I got my second sight, The Brood. And hopefully Dieter will come back. I don't know what happened to his internet service, but I did get my beautiful second sight 4K disc of The Brood, and second sight does not let one down. You, of course, have the art cards, which I will not open up yet. I know Dieter does. Really incredible. I mean, I love the artwork. Incredible book, which does not spoil the film. This is a hugely extensive book. Very weighty. It looks like it's, 200 pages long at least. Really incredible. And then, of course, you have the version of the movie. And the artwork on this is really, really great. I love this artwork. But one of the discs popped out. The 4K disc. This is one of my favorite Cronenberg movies and one of my favorite horror films of all time. And of course, Second Sight, my beloved Second Sight, does not disappoint yet again. And this was, I didn't even know these were coming when they were announced. It was just exciting to get them. Hopefully Dieter will come back. Let me just see. I don't know if Dieter was disconnected or what happened there. But so Dieter, if you're watching me right now and I don't know what happened to you, maybe in the live chat you can say, who knows? Who knows what happened to Dieter? But I'll wait for him to come back. Since I was showing that, I also received the Second Sight scanners, which is of a piece, same artwork. You gotta love that. Scanners to this day still has probably, along with Dawn of the Dead, the greatest head explosion in cinema history. Patrick McGowan, all of the artwork on these two discs is fantastic. I love it all. Although the discs keep popping out from one side to the next. And everyone knows how much I love Second Sight. Everything they do such a great job with and this also comes with all of the art cards and an incredible, the books here are great. And the Second Sight books are actually really worth reading. So I hope that no one attacked Germany's power grid and knocked Dieter offline. But these Second Sight Cronenberg discs come with my highest recommendation. The transfers are absolutely stunning. Really, really amazing. Dieter's back. Oh, Dieter is back. So Dieter, sorry.
Okay. I was lost, Rob. I was lost.
You were lost. I was hoping that like the Russians didn't attack and ruin the power grid, but you gave me a chance to interrupt and show my version of The Brood and Scanners. I mean, the Cronenbergian double feature. You know. Oh wait, you can't see them. Wait, let me put you back so you can now see. Yeah, hang on. I'm gonna admit something. I don't love Scanners. There's a lot of cool stuff in it. The prisoner Patrick McGowan's in it. It's got some really great special effects, but Stephen Lack's central performance is lacking for me. And while I love Michael Ironside, how unhinged he is, look, it's classic Cronenberg. Everyone loves it. But for my money, if you're going to buy one of these, get The Brood, because The Brood does it's classic Cronenberg. The idea behind it of psychoplasmics is amazing. The Oliver Reed's Dr. Hal Raglan, who believes in taking your trauma and externalizing it through cancers and growths on your body, is so body horror Cronenbergian. I love it. I love it so much. And then the devastating portrayal of what divorce does to a family, or what happens when your wife goes around the bend and goes completely crazy. It's an amazing horror film, one of the best horror films I think ever made. So get The Brood. So back to you, Dieter.
Okay, I'm. So you showed your two versions. Did the people still got?
They still got to see yours. Yeah, they got to see yours. You were in the middle of that, and then you went Frozen. You went not like Frozen the movie.
Yeah. I'm little.
Don't let it go.
Broken up here. I'm a little broken up here, and I got a German one of Scanners.
Ooh,
which is
what's with you people spoiling everything on your covers, man? Come on.
Because we want to know what we are getting, and it comes with part 2 and part 3. Because actually, I think the sequel is pretty decent, and the third one is a guilty pleasure. Let me see what's in the German one. So we got the poster artwork, the 2 covers, then we've got booklet, the crazy third one, and some cool lobby cards. Rob, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, I'm not sure if I'm actually
You're on, buddy. You are on.
So we've got 3. So we've got the first one, Blu-ray and 4K, extras, and part 3 and 2. And I totally had a blast, especially with the third one, the takeover. So this was the German one from Play On. My third haul. Okay, I'll give it over to Europe. Well, I put stuff back in the box.
Okay. If you're putting stuff back in the box, over to me. The final part of my haul was I never bought the final Twin Peaks, the return, I guess, whatever it's officially called. So I got this as a Schnäppchen, Twin Peaks A to Z. Terrible packaging, but that's probably why it was a Schnäppchen. And so I picked that up because why not? It was like half off. And they actually sent me 2 of these. So if there's anybody who wants one, write me and I'll just give it to you. I don't know if that means I'll ever actually put it in the mail, but you can ask me for it and I'll give it to you. And then the last thing I got from Vinegar Syndrome was Richard Loncrane's Brimstone and Treacle. This is a terrific movie. Sting is in it. Perfect piece in 4K. Really a great release from Vinegar Syndrome of a terrific film. Again, a great booklet. Vinegar Syndrome does a great job. And a great slipcase. So I picked this up. If you've never seen Brimstone and Treacle, I highly recommend this in 4K. And then, of course, one of my favorite movies of the year so far, Companion, also produced by Roy Lee. This is a fantastic film. I got the 4K of this. I'm glad it came with a slipcase. I haven't even opened it yet. But there you go. And then, of course, Ken Russell's Tommy, which I had to get. Ever since I was a young boy, I played the silver ball from Soho down to Brighton. I must have played them all. I'm a pinball wizard, or I used to be. So I got that. And then finally, the last thing of the week, I got Night of the Creeps, which I think Dieter got last week. So those are my 4Ks. And I would say that is a very respectable haul, no matter what universe you live in. A lot of that stuff was pre-ordered a while ago, and it's been a little dry around here because I hadn't had these things hadn't come in. So now they've come in, and now I have to find. I mean, I don't know. I don't have much on pre-order. I got to go pre-order more stuff. The Reanimator big box set should be coming out anytime, and there was word that is it Synapse? The Beyond box sets, the big 6-disc set, has begun shipping. So, looking forward to getting that. Did you freeze again, Dieter? Dieter froze again. Look at that. Look at that pensive. Let's go to full frame on Dieter. Look at that. Look at that guy. Look at the pensive expression on his face. Don't we all love Dieter, Bastian? I know we do. We all love Dieter. But there he is. Dieter in repose. This could be a memeable moment, everybody. What is Dieter thinking? Take a frame grab of this. What is Dieter thinking? Please tell us. And meme this. Put a little thought bubble, or even what he's saying. Maybe he's thinking I'm a douche. We don't know. But let me disconnect and see. I mean, come on. How many times do you get such a memeable moment? A memeable moment is like a teachable moment, but it's memeable. So let me disconnect, and maybe Dieter will come back. If not, I'll just go directly to the news and see if Dieter does come back. I always wonder, how long does it take Dieter to know whether or not he is gone? Anyway, I'm going to jump into the news. Hopefully Dieter will come back. First of all, let me check and see. 200 Watt Studio says, Mamas always spoke highly of Daddy's head. I don't recognize that. I don't recognize that quote, but it is funny. Look, I think I've completely lost Dieter. I'm going to disconnect and let me reconnect to previous session. I don't know. I don't know if Dieter's going to come back. Maybe I've lost him for good. Let me check the live chat. Oh, wait. Hang on. Dieter is back. Dieter, how are you? Is something happening over there in Germany?
I have no idea, Rob. I have connection problems, but I don't know what.
That's what she said.
Wrong.
That's okay. We just soldier on.
Very, very shaky connection.
Well, that happens. It happens. So, are we going to go to the news? Would you like to go to the news?
Yeah.
Okay. I wanna play that song from Footloose. Let's hear it for the boy. Let's hear it for the boy. Or in this case, let's hear it for George Feltenstein and the boys over at Warner Archive, because they have announced. Warner Archive has announced they gave us The Searchers, one of the most impressive classic film restorations I have ever seen. The Searchers, John Wayne. That disc came out at the end of last year. It blew everyone away. The question arose, what is Warner Archive going to do for a follow-up? Now, I know a lot of us want like Excalibur. Maybe Criterion will give it to us. We know we're going to get Barry Lyndon. Everybody wants modern movies, but Warner Archive's bailiwick is classic cinema. And they do a phenomenal job. As a matter of fact, they do a better job than the world ever gives them credit for, because so many people pass up their amazing restorations and the amazing movies. They've had such a really eclectic, interesting slate over the last couple of years, and why they don't just, as I said, National Film Czar, George Feltenstein, make it happen. Come on, Donald Trump. Enough with the tariffs. By the way, tariffs. Do you know that they're part of the reason that the idea behind tariffs, Dieter? Did you freeze again? You totally froze again. And look, you have the same pensive expression on your face. Well, I was going to say, I'll see if I can get Dieter back. One of the thoughts behind tariffs is that it makes it more expensive to import goods, so maybe that will start more American manufacturing, more domestic production. The problem is we have to build new manufacturing facilities that could take years. Well, in the case of our beloved little discs, there are no replication facilities in North America. A lot of the replication facilities we use the one we use is in Mexico. Of course, tariff. And then, of course, there's Europe and there's Japan. So the tariffs are going to directly affect the ability to buy discs and the price. I mean, already Disney Steelbooks have gone, they're exorbitantly expensive for whatever reason. But the tariffs can affect the prices. And Orbit DVD sent out a missive talking about how they're going to just tack on 10% to all orders because of these tariffs, which I think is fair. But we'll be covering that as it moves along, because people keep asking me about tariffs and how they're going to affect physical media. Orbit DVD is the first place that actually sent out this week a message about how they're going to handle it. They're doing it, I think, in a very fair and interesting way. So go over to Orbit's DVD and see what they say about tariffs. But I will jump into. I didn't even get. I just. Let's get back to Warner Archive and their second 4K release, which I'm very excited about. Check this out. High Society, Bing Crosby, Grace Kelly, Frank Sinatra. This movie rules. And I can only imagine how good this is going to look in 4K. If the Searchers is anything to go by, I think this is a great choice to be their next film. It's going to look amazing. This is a wonderful, wonderful movie from a bygone era of Hollywood, bringing the star power. I'm very, very excited about this. So, I mean, I know a lot of people, you probably wanted to get something different or something more modern, but this is classic Hollywood cinema, and I can only imagine how great it's going to look. So I'm very, very, very excited about this. So kudos to everybody at Warner Archive. They had enough success that they can still keep going with their 4K releases, and that's very exciting. You go, Warner Archive, and you go, George Feltenstein, because you're killing it over there. They have other ones coming out too. Mystery Street, which is a noir crime thriller with Ricardo Montalban. I've never seen this, but it sounds great. And hey, what's getting a movie that Ricardo stars in that isn't Star Trek II: The Wrath of Khan? Very, very exciting. Really want to get this. I bet it's great. Rhapsody in Blue, a Gershwin movie. I have never seen this. I've always wanted to see it. It's got a really, really interesting cast. And of course, Al Jolson's in it. And I really do want to see this. I really want to get this. I'm a big George Gershwin fan. So Rhapsody in Blue is coming out. And more modern, Lean on Me. Terrific movie. And they like they put out Stand and Deliver. Warner Archive's putting out Lean on Me. What a great 1-2 punch those are. So good for them. And they're also putting out Three Comrades with Robert Taylor, Margaret Sullivan, and Robert Young. And it's funny because homeboy, Mr. Tone, is in the Joan Crawford movie that Warner Archive just put out. So, A Vivid Romance of Today. So you go, Warner Archive. And then we're also getting, I really like this movie a lot, La Vie en Rose, or as I like to call it, the prequel to Inception. And this is the extended version. I didn't know there were 2 versions of this, but apparently there are. And put this right up next to your copy of Inception and behold. Again, I don't know what's going on with Dieter. I don't know if he can come back, but that is what Warner Archive has in store for us. And I think it's a pretty great slate. So you go, Warner Archive. And Disney is putting out a new 4K Ultimate Collector's Edition of Lilo and Stitch in advance of the animated film, which I have to say looks delightful. Delightful. So that's very cool. And if you want to pick that up, why not? And then we get to, I think, what would be, hang on a second. I'm hearing from Dieter. Dieter is sending me a WhatsApp message. Let's see what Dieter has to say. Dieter says he lost his internet. Dieter's internet is gone. I hope that doesn't mean that the Russians are on the march, or that someone else isn't on the march, or there was some shenanigans, some EMP from some errant nuclear strike somewhere, but Dieter's lost his internet. I guess that means you just get me. And that's okay, because I can soldier on without Dieter. And of course, one of the interesting releases of the week is, of course, Last Tango in Paris. Now, this is coming out again from Vinegar Syndrome and their partner labels, according to. Now, I showed you the very nice discs from Melusine. Melusine, I think, is how you pronounce it. Melusine. Those 2 discs that I got, one being Radley Mesker's The Image. I did get the Melusine version of Last Tango in Paris, which they're putting out. The other version that is just your standard edition has sold out. They have 2 different versions of this. You can get the Melusine version, or Melusine, both as a standard edition or a limited edition slipcase. Their first version that isn't the Melusine, somebody tell me how to pronounce this, is only available as the standard edition. The limited edition slipcase sold out, but the Melusine version, there's 1,248 copies left, and that's the one that I ordered. I mean, obviously, I love this movie. I've always loved this movie, despite its controversy. We showed the Maria movie that's coming out about Maria, or Being Maria, the one where Matt Dillon is playing Marlon Brando in the film when they make this. But there's been a lot of controversy lately about, did they take advantage of Maria Schneider? But the reality of the situation was the very famous scene with the butter was scripted. There was no shenanigans going on about things being unscripted. So it was scripted. And anyway, I love Last Tango in Paris. I've always loved Last Tango in Paris. Big fan of Bertolucci. So I am definitely going to get this. And you can go over to Vinegar Syndrome if you want and pick it up there. Although it does look like it's, because it's disco, it's Distropix. It's their partner label, Distropix. But they only have, maybe they have more limited edition slipcases. Let me check. No, their limited edition slipcase, which is very interesting, is in fact, it says the product is out of stock. Maybe they'll bring it back, but it's out of stock. But you can get the standard edition if you want. So that's exciting. So go pick up that movie and go buy your favorite stick of butter and find somebody you love and watch it the right way. Anyway, then we have Scream Shout. They're putting out another great lineup of films. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia, the Shout Select version in 4K. I love this movie. How great that they're putting it out. As a matter of fact, these are very eclectic, but I love them both. Bring Me the Head of Alfredo Garcia and, believe it or not, Bring It On. I love the first Bring It On. I met the editor once. He signed my DVD of Bring It On. I think, yeah, this movie's about cheerleading, but Eliza Dushku's in it, and of course Kirsten Dunst is in it. I really like this movie a lot. I love underdog tales, so I will definitely be picking this up in 4K. And then also George Romero's Monkey Shines. Of course, I'm going to get that in 4K, which is terrific. And then we've got Clive Barker's Lord of Illusions. I did pick this up earlier from Umbrella. I don't know if both versions are on here. I do prefer the longer director's cut. I don't know if that's available in 4K, but it is coming out. So that's pretty exciting. Another good lineup. You know, this movie is about Clive Barker's character, Harry D'Amour. This was the third movie Clive Barker directed after Hellraiser and Nightbreed. And while, you know, I don't think the promise of Hellraiser was fulfilled, I do think still I do enjoy those movies. Dieter Bastian just came back into the chat, and I'll bring him back. We'll see if Dieter knows what's up. He came in through a different channel, which means I have to add him back to the show. Allow me to do that. I'm just going to leave this up there for a second so I can bring Dieter back in and put him back in. And he can explain to us how he has let us down by disappearing in the show. So Dieter, let's see. Let me bring you back to the show. We're halfway through the news. What's been going on with you? How have you been?
I have no idea, Rob. What is going on? I have no idea. My connection is funky and technical difficulties, but I don't.
We don't allow that to stop us here. We just keep going. So, are you going to buy? I don't know if you've been watching what I have been showing, but are you going to buy any of the Shout Select discs? Are you fans of those?
I have actually.
You have no idea what I've been talking about.
Know what you have shown, Rob, except for a lot of illusions.
That's it. You a fan? You gonna get Lord of Illusions?
I think so. I think Lord of Illusions. Yeah, certainly. Perhaps wait a little bit. Considering for Schnäppchenpreis, perhaps.
Yeah, sale stuff. Here we have First Love. This is coming out from a British label, and it's a film directed by Maximilian Schell. I don't know anything about it. I like Maximilian Schell, but I don't know anything about this, and it is coming out. Now, this is interesting. Coming out from 88 Films, Takashi Miike, Zebra Man 1 and 2 are coming. I mean, they're making these look suspiciously like, there you got your Obi on there. They're looking like Radiance movies, but you've got movie Zebra Man and Zebra Man 2, Attack on Zebra City. And these are Super Sentai films, but hey, Mr. Miike is always a good time. So they're coming out. So let's get them. And we've also got Love Crime that stars, I can't pronounce, Luvine Sagné and Kristen Scott Thomas, because she's, of course, fluent in French. So there you go, as we found out in Under the Cherry Moon. So that's coming out. I don't know much about this movie. I haven't seen it. It's a thriller. It's called Love Crime. It seems like it's right up my alley. I've been perpetrating love crimes for most of my life. So I definitely want to see this film. Then we've got from Kino Lorber, Walter Houston in Law and Order. Carl Laemmle, a movie from the early 30s. This looks fun. I mean, I'm on a noir kick anyway because of True Noir. And what's not to love? It's Kino Lorber, it's Law and Order, it's Walter Houston, and Carl Laemmle, Mr. Universal himself, is bringing it to us. Then we got Severance. The Umbrella put this out, and Severance, not the TV series, but the movie. The company is making cutbacks, so the Australian film is coming out domestically, which is cool, very exciting. So you can get a new version of that. And now Paramount, is this Paramount? I don't know if it's Paramount or not. I think it's Paramount. Yeah, it is. Of course it's Paramount. We're getting a 4K of Clueless for the 30th anniversary. Oh my God, I'm going to die soon. The 30th anniversary of Clueless. I like this cover. I don't know if Dieter, if you're going to pick it up, but
Yeah.
hey, worth getting. That's cool. And then we have because we saw the trailer at CinemaCon for the new I Know What You Did Last Summer. Here is the classic I Know What You Did Last Summer in 4K in a steelbook. So if you want to get that there now, you can. And now we've got a new set of titles coming out. Murder Rock being one of them. You've got these. This is new Vinegar Syndrome titles. I mean, Vinegar Syndrome just keeps putting out, let's call it a very interesting slate. You can never go wrong. They never cease to amuse me. So what's not to love about everything that they're putting out? Vinegar Syndrome's April titles include, of course, Murder Rock in 4K. And this is like Suspiria, but different. It takes place in a dance academy, and what's not to love? It's called Murder Rock. That's like right up Dieter's alley, right? No?
Yeah.
Okay, because you got to get it. Then we've got The Nesting, another 4K title. I don't know if I'll pick this up. I've never seen it. But hey, there's a scythe, there's nestings, rats, shenanigans, murder. It's Vinegar Syndrome. Then we have Devil Doll. I have no idea. The Curse of the Voodoo. Hey, it's another great Vinegar Syndrome title. What's not to love? Vinegar Syndrome always puts a smile on my face. And then we have Igor and the Lunatics, another Vinegar Syndrome title. I don't know anything about this movie, but let's read up on it and find out, because I want to know what this movie is about. So Igor and the Lunatics is a group of cultists. Okay, you had me at cultists. A group of cultists led by the maniacal Paul spend their days in a haze of psychedelic-fueled free love, whilst their vicious leader dishes out bloody and brutal vengeance on anyone who attempts to leave the fold, aided by his crazed and thoroughly sadistic right-hand man, Igor, who has a particular fondness for carving up nubile young women with his trusty collection of sharp implements. After being incarcerated for several years for a spate of grim slayings, Paul is released back into society and reunited with his murderous devotees, immediately sets out continuing his gruesome cult activities. Financed by the legendary Troma Entertainment, who ended up requiring extensive reshoots in order to up the movie's gore quotient, with these additional sequences being helmed by Spooky's director Thomas Doran and Brendan Faulkner, Igor and the Lunatics is a demented, depraved, and thoroughly distasteful Manson family-esque shocker from the studio that Toxic built. Now newly restored in 4K from its original 16mm camera negative, Vinegar Syndrome Archive is delighted. Of course they are. They're delighted to present Igor and the Lunatics in both its original release version alongside the home video debut of the longer Bloodshed cut. It's called the Bloodshed cut, as well as a brand new making of documentary. Well, this might be worth getting into the behind the scenes of this sickening cult favorite. And if you go to Blu-ray.com, they have trailers for all this stuff. So Igor and the Lunatics from 1985, they have a promo for it, and it looks fun. Now, this is crazy. Mondo Macabro, or actually, no, this is not that. This is Shameless. Shameless is putting out Four Flies on Grey Velvet, one of the Dario Argento's Animal trilogy. I do not know how they got this, but Shameless did get a Dario Argento movie, and they're putting it out in 4K. So, for you Argento heads out there, and I'm one of them, I've got to pick this up. So, there you go. Then we've got, look at this, Kino Cult is putting out the Sugar Hill, or just Sugar Hill. Like the Sugar Hill Gang. Maybe that's where they got their name from, but just judging by the cover, I have to own this. I've never seen it, but I need to have it, and it's Kino Cult. I think it's number 32. The most eclectic label out there is Kino Cult. So you go, Kino Cult. You keep bringing the noise. Then Raro, Alien Terror. I don't know if this is like supposed to be an Alien ripoff, or I don't know much about this movie, but I love this whole Raro, that they keep putting out great Italian crime thrillers like Fernando de Leo movies and stuff. So they're great. We just lost Dieter again. I don't know why. So, hey, this cover alone makes me want to own this movie. And then we've got the 40th anniversary of Luc Besson's Subway. I remember seeing this movie in the theater. I had seen Le Dernier Combat, his first film, but then this movie was, Christopher Lambert. I believe it's a year before Highlander came out, and the pinnacle of cool is Christopher Lambert in this movie. Oh wait, let's see what Dieter said. Something's off, but he'll try and get back on. We'll see. We'll see if Dieter can get back on. Let me disconnect and give him a chance to get back on, and I'll reconnect to a previous session, and hopefully he'll be back. So there we go, 40th anniversary of Subway, which is exciting. And then we're going to have, I believe, this is going to be a 4K of Road Trip, the Tom Green movie. Here we go. Road Trip is coming, if that's what you want. And then my beloved Second Sight is coming in hot they have a version of Talk to Me. It's funny, I want to buy everything that Second Sight puts out, but I got this great Australian version of Talk to Me. So I don't know if I'll pick this up, but usually they do something to tweak the transfers. No one's transfers are better than Second Sight's, and I might just pick this up to support Second Sight. They're also putting out, we just had this come out from Warner Brothers, but they are putting out The Nice Guys, a new version of The Nice Guys, which has more stuff than the Warner release. There's commentaries on here that weren't on the Warner release. And I'm sure this transfer, it's already 4K, so how good can you make it? But this will definitely be something I'm picking up from Second Sight. And then finally, I don't know if we showed this, but they're putting out a Blu-ray of The Coffee Table. I think I did show this a couple weeks ago, but Second Sight's putting this out. The one that they released here, Kino Lorber put it out on DVD. So I do want to get this on Blu-ray. I think Dieter already got a media book of this, but I'm definitely going to pick up the Second Sight version. So let's go to the charts. And we've got Moana 2. This is Blu-ray. Wicked, Tommy Boy, Nosferatu, Star Trek Lower Decks, the final season. Gladiator 2, Star Trek Lower Decks, the complete series. The Substance, Alien Romulus, and Akira. That is all HD formats. And then we go to the 4K discs alone. Tommy Boy, look at Tommy Boy, just at the top of the charts. Nosferatu, Gladiator 2, Akira, Wicked, The Substance, Kill Bill Volume 1 from Lionsgate, 7, Alien Romulus, and Amadeus. I hope my Amadeus box set comes soon because I want it. And that is all the news that is fit to print. So there you go. I don't know if Dieter's going to come back. It's weird doing this show by myself. I'm not comfortable doing it by myself. It's our show. It's funny to do this alone. But I'll try and soldier through because you guys deserve that from me. I don't know why Dieter, I don't know what happened. So we'll see. Let me go down and catch what you saw. So let's see. I'm going to go back to what you guys are saying. Danzig 1979 says, I'm really hoping we get Cronenberg's The Fly in 4K. I hope so too. I really want The Fly in 4K. I'm sure we will, but again, that's 20th Century Studios, so maybe that'll come out through Sony. It's probably not high on their list of priorities, but I would certainly love to get it. 200 Watt Studio says, there's nothing wrong with liking hot cheerleaders, Rob. Yeah, but as every year ticks by and I get older and older, I don't find myself attracted to you. I always liked older women when I was younger anyway. They knew a lot more stuff I needed to learn. But I've never really been one to look back. I just like that movie. It's a fun, buoyant film, and I like its message. It's kind of like the Rocky of cheerleader movies. Tornawatt Studios says, back in 2001, I saw a double feature in Eagle Rock, California of Godzilla 2000 and Bring It On. Well, Tornawatt Studio, that's the kind of afternoon I want to have. Godzilla 2000 and Bring It On, that is a heck of a double feature. Let's see. Thomas Logan says, Bobby, talk about the first time you saw Last Tango in Paris and the effect it had on you. Explain why it is important cinema, and will Dieter pre-order the 4K? I don't know if Dieter will pre-order the 4K, but the first time I saw Last Tango in Paris, I actually saw it in a theater, and I saw it at the Neptune Theater in Seattle, Washington. It was our landmark theater, and it was they would put out, their calendar for 2 months, and it was always a double feature, and it was a double feature, if I remember correctly, with The Conformist, and that's what I saw them both, and I had not seen either one at that point. I don't know if Dieter is writing to me, but I really like them both. I mean, here's the thing about Last Tango in Paris. I mean, aside from everyone reduces it and we make jokes about the scene with the butter, I mean, it was a relationship about two damaged people that found something in one another, and they developed an obsessive relationship. A lot of it was, of course, sexual, the heat, and I remember the thing that struck me the most about Last Tango in Paris is I want to say I was probably 13 or 14 when I saw it, and I was a horny kid, but I was also interested in human relationships, and it was definitely a learning experience because, Last Tango in Paris, when I saw it, was beyond me. It was something I didn't understand because I was not part of the adult world yet. I had just begun to be sexually active at 13, and I didn't, it was just touching a boob was exciting at that point. I didn't understand anything about obsessive sexuality or the cravings you could have for another person. I mean, I understood them, but not in an adult way. So, like all movies that I was watching, I was always trying to punch above my weight class. I was always watching world cinema. I'd been going to the Seattle Film Festival, and what was really interesting about the thing that stuck with me about that movie was Brando always saying, like, nothing matters outside of this room, and whatever's going on, the normalcy of civilization, nothing matters. What matters is whatever happens here between us. The rest of the world doesn't matter because the rest of the world is pain, and the rest of the world is where all of his hurt came from, was away from that place. But in this room now, all that matters is the here and now. And I always thought, that was what was so interesting. And of course, you can't live that way, and you can't have a relationship with a human being in that way. It doesn't work. I mean, you can try, and people do all the time. They try and compartmentalize whether you're having an affair or whatever's going on. Nothing else matters in this room while we're here. And that was the first time I kind of experienced concepts like that, and it always stuck with me. I mean, I still think it's a beautiful film. It's not a happy movie, but it's beautiful to look at, and it's just an adult movie. I mean, it's funny. I think back to when I was a kid. I remember I craved movies about adults and adult life, and we don't have that much anymore. We don't have any slices of life movies like this, more existential films, and you would get those from European directors. That's kind of like why I loved Antonioni so much. I watched Antonioni movies and I was thinking, wow. And the first Antonioni movie, I think, was La Notte. I think I saw La Notte before I saw La Ventura, but it was watching adults at like a dinner party acting like adults, and I'm like, this is like an alien world to me. And that's why I watched these kinds of films, and I love them. It was a world that I was hoping to enter, and I tried to make sense of it when you're younger. I mean, sure that the sexual component was interesting, but I was much more interested in how do you live in this world that I was going to wind up in, because it was so, when you're a kid, movies, especially now, I can only imagine if I was 13 now and watching Last Tango in Paris. And again, we had to take 2 buses or 3 buses in the case of the Neptune to get there. So you're anticipating what you're watching. And my parents had no idea what I was watching. And watching Last Tango in Paris, and it certainly gave you a lot to ponder, and a lot of questions, not just ones about sex, but existential questions like, what happened to these people? How do you get this way? Is everybody like this? And so that's why I think that movies like that are important. Let's see if Dieter is not back. So I guess I'm not going to get Dieter back. We've done the news. I've answered the questions. I think I've got Justin Toner sends in a tip and says, "Hi, Rob and Dieter. I put my pre-order in on Arrow's website for the Dark City 4K limited edition set. I also took advantage of the recent Amazon sale to get Alien Romulus Police Story 3 and Unforgiven in 4K. Well, that is a great set. That's a great set of titles, Justin. And congratulations on getting those. Well, I'm gonna cut this show short, and I want to apologize. I'm sure Dieter's frustrated they can't be here, but we will end this show. We'll be back next week. I want to thank everybody for generously supporting this channel via super chats and tips, and I want to thank my moderating staff, Justin, of course, Tom Jr. Jackson, Lord Toth for being here, and all of you for following our show and tuning in every week. And again, I'm very proud. I'm going to talk more about what it's like to end a project like True Noir later, probably today. But as that goes, what more can I say? Just buy some more physical media. And remember, every person you meet has a story to tell that you have yet to hear, and all you have to do is listen. By the way, Castle Grayskull is back. I hope your visit was okay. I'm sorry to hear about your family member or friends. Played Out says, "It's okay, Rob. Call it. You're sick anyhow." But Castle Grayskull gifted a Burnettwork membership. Thank you for that. I appreciate that. And yeah, so on that note, you'll be seeing a lot more of me on the internet because I'm done with True Noir. Done editing. It's been a real incredible journey. I want to thank Max Allen Collins for giving me a gift of that script to work on and having the kind of relationship that I have with him. I'm so proud of True Noir, and I hope you guys love it. And I really think the ending, I think it sticks the landing. And for an audio drama, it's as emotional as I could make it. And yeah, and Tom Jr. Jackson just gifted a Burnettwork membership. So thank you for that. We will be having a membership call next week, I promise. And I'll probably start doing a few in a row because I owe everybody. And that'll be fun. So on that note, I don't even know how to do it in German. I can't even begin to start, but you know what I mean. You know what it is. All right, everybody. I will see you around the internet, maybe tonight, but certainly tomorrow. I'll be on Versus, and I'll be on the John Campy Show. Thomas Logan says, "Why not call George and talk some 4K?" I usually have to tell him when I'm going to call, but I haven't done that. All right, everybody. Thanks for being here.